easier Thursday treat. Yeah.
Hey, Scott. Not bad, not bad. Hey, Jamie, how are you?
Andy, hello. It feels like it's been forever.
It has. It's been a while. Of course, with the test drive, we always have to pull some time aside to help all the new people coming in. But it's great to be back. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names out there and some new ones. So let's dive into the action. Before we do, guys, let's go over our disclaimer here. Okay, we are content publishers here at Trade Ideas, and even though we'll be talking about some setups and looking at stocks and things like that, don't take anything as investment advice. That's not what we're here for. It's for educational purposes only. If you are looking for investment advice, you want to seek out a registered advisor or a stockbroker. All right, the agenda for today, we're going to do the market recap. Looking kind of ugly out there. We'll talk about that. The Holly AI. Jamie will grab the reins for a couple of minutes and talk about some of the trades from the AI. And I haven't done this in a while, but we're going to just do a kind of a simple back testing. We're not going to go too deep. I always recommend people try not to go too deep. The less filters you can use and get good results, the better. And that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to do a short strategy because we kind of been in a bear market lately. So this one, well, I'll talk more about it when we pull it up. No sense in me going into it now. And then a race that I've been looking at. I have a T window that's basically all stocks that are above their key moving averages. This would be the 10, 20, 50, and 200. And it just shows you where a lot of relative strength are. So it's in times like this, it's good to focus on strength. And so I created one and I created a race with it. And boy, I tell you what, you've been finding some really good races in there. So we'll talk about that. I'll show you. Maybe we'll go back and do a little replay and look at some of the ones coming through. All right, but for right now, let's back out and let's take a look at the market. And we'd like to start out with the SPY because it has most of 500 components in it. So it's a good barometer of the current conditions. And today we did close for the first time in a long time back below all of our key moving averages. When I say key moving averages, I'm talking about the daily, and I'm talking about the 200, the 50, the 20, and the 10. And try to get back above that 20 this morning, but we actually end up closing below it. So the Qs along with the SPYs are back all below their moving average. This is a downtrend. This is a bear market. There's no way around it. And be careful out there, guys, because you hear a lot of CMTs. You hear a lot of smart people that they like to kind of remain bullish. It's kind of good for their business. And they will compare a lot of these technicals back to the bear markets we saw in 2008, 2009, bear market we had in the dot-com bubble back in 2001. The difference about this bear market, it's an inflationary bear market, okay? So it's quite different, okay? We did not have inflation back in those two. We were printing money like it was going out of style, and it was easier, to feed the market and get it back up after 8 or 9 months or however long they lasted. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but this one may be a little bit different. Okay, so I hate to say it, but you probably want to compare this more to the technicals in the 70s and early 80s, which is very ugly for a long time. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a 10 to 12 year bear market, but it is an inflationary market right now, and bear market, and we got to keep that in the back of our mind. Okay, that this could last for a while. The good thing about it is if you're a trader, it doesn't matter. Okay, where it really hurts people is if you're an investor. You're used to putting all your money into your 401k or your mutual funds and just watching it grow over the years. Now, if you're young, you can do that, and that's fine. But even if you're not, it's no fun sitting there, if it is a long sustained bear market, which it very well could be, I think you can do much better, trading. This is where I like to be a trader, and I can get in, be nimble, get in and out quick, ride something for 2 or 3 days and then hop out. Like I've been doing a lot of that lately, but So anyway, just keep that in the back of your mind, because you do get a lot of cheerleading out there, and sometimes it can make you think that a bottom is in place, and now you get this kind of rollover. I saw a lot of chatter you know about the Dow, and the Dow has been doing well, but just keep in the back of your mind, this is 30 stocks, and it came back up here, poked above its 200-day moving average, was above all the moving average for a while, but as you can see here, it was still kind of in a downtrend, and it remained in that downtrend. But like I said, I saw a lot of cheerleading with this, but just keep in mind that this is just the top 30 stocks in the Dow, and Apple is in there. So the overall internals can be a lot worse than what you're seeing in the Dow, for sure. All right, let's take a look at the I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the Dow, but we will take a look at the Qs, which are quite ugly. Okay, this is looking like it may want to go test October lows, which we had the big gap down, big volume that day, very nice engulfing candle. A lot of people were thinking, oh wow, that is a reversal right there. We've reached the bottom, and only to be fooled here again. Looks like we may go test that low. Not sure where, that's obviously a key level. I'll set me an alert down here, so when it goes off, I'll see if that is going to hold. That's always a good thing to do if you have stocks that you're looking at, and major averages get to key support levels. I'm always putting in price alerts just to notify me that, hey, here's a level. I'm gonna have to go to the weekly on these Qs and see what we may be looking at here. If we do break that. Okay, so there's the alert. That would be October lows. Also marries up over here with around July 20. Okay, so below this, we could easily be, down here another 30 points or so to test this level going back over here. You go ahead and draw a line so you guys can see it a lot easier. We could go test this level right in here. Doesn't hold that, we could very well be looking at the pandemic lows. And I know nobody wants to hear that, and they're saying, that's impossible. But I was saying, I hate saying things like I said this, I said that. Regardless, I mean, I would not be shocked. Let me just put it that way. But hopefully not. But I think you have to just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. SPYs held their weekly. Okay, the 200 weekly, they knocked on the door for about 4 weeks and held it bounce off. If we do go down and test, it'll be interesting to see if the SPYs could hold that level. And once again, I'm not going to mark it up, but we could be looking around a 340 range if we break that. IWM is kind of a different story. It's a little bit stronger. It's above. Let me put the daily back up. Some relative strength there a little bit. You see it above the 20 still, kind of pinched between the 50 and the 20 moving average. But unfortunately, the IWM is not going to lead the market higher. Maybe we could just call it relative strength right now compared to the other ones, but it's still in a bearish trend overall, and will remain that way until it gets, I would say, above this 200-day moving average and breaks this downtrend. I could probably change that now. Anyway, you can see what I'm talking about. Let me see. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. You guys can see it right here. If I drew a line right here. Yeah, so that would be the trend we need a break, which would be right around that 200-day moving average. So not as bad in IWM land, small cap land, I should say. All right, so Jamie, it's not looking good, and we've tried on several occasions now, to find a bottom, and we keep getting rejected. And I don't know when that bottom's going to come, and it could be a while, but it's okay. That's great. It's really great about, I had a huge return during this period right here. That was a really nice rally. So you can, even if you play the long side, if you're patient and you wait for your pitches and wait till it breaks certain areas, you can still get some nice little rallies. But it is more difficult playing the long side in a bear market. That's for sure. You got to be nimble and you got to be quick. You got to jump over the candlestick.
That's true. Hey, but you can make a lot of money shorting in an up market too. So I mean that pendulum swings both ways.
That's
Um,
true.
you
Yes.
know,
Yeah, I speak to those. I know there's a lot of people out there that only go long. So, um, but I hear you. Yeah, if you are bold enough, to short, it's always good. Like Steve always says, to have that backhand in tennis. But did you have any insight for me on the overall market recap? Or?
no. I mean the idea that we could return to pandemic lows is a little,
I know, unnerving.
disturbing.
Yes.
But as they say, sometimes things aren't even on the table, and it's on the table. Um, I hope that scenario does not play out, but you just
Hmm.
never know. You never know with
I
how
mean, yes.
crazy, let's just say, the world is at this point in time. We just all have to hunker down and trade accordingly.
Correct. Now, I guess there's a chance that the Qs could actually go down. The Nasdaq, the heavy tech stocks where you don't have a lot of dividends, you don't have a lot of energy. But some of these healthcare, some of this stuff that's been holding up well, that you're going to find in the SPY. So I guess it's possible to like test pandemic lows in the tech sector and still kind of maybe hold up a little bit more in the SPYs, kind of like we're doing now. But we'll see. But I think it's important to keep in the back of your mind that it is a different environment than we've seen, in the early 2000s, as far as the bear market goes, because we can't print money right now. Can't print our way out of it right now, Jamie.
Oh, but they're trying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think they want to go that route, and it could be very dangerous. But you're right. They'll try something.
Yeah, we
Uh,
already increased the M1 supply by 40%. Who knows? Crank it on up to 60.
yeah. Well, we don't want to turn into a Japan market that we saw over the last they've been doing better obviously the last 5-10 years, but gosh man, for about 20 years there they were just dead. Like it's like a 20-year bear market.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I'll let you take it over and hit on some of the Holly stuff if you want to, or you let me
Sure.
know if you don't,
One moment,
it's not
please.
necessary. Okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of action here to take a peek at.
Wait. Okay.
Okay, you should have eyes on my desktop.
I do.
All right, and as you can see, I've got the AI trade blotter up. So, more shorts than longs today. Let's just take a look at this tandem, which was a pretty good trade. And we can see right here, we have a winner in conservative mode and moderate mode. And we do have a little bit of spread here. Not a whole lot, just about 30 bucks, but hey, something is better than nothing. Just a really clean trade from Holly today on the short side, executing the sell right here, 38.66, kind of hemmed and hawed around a little bit. Had to sit a little bit of a wiggle, but didn't come anywhere close to the, let's see, you can see my stop a little bit better
Mm-hmm.
like that, but just gonna kind of enlarge it back out here to take a look at the candle action. So shorting, let's see, what time was that? That was pretty close. That was about 42 minutes into the open. Of course, it did not break until about, come on, get rid of that tag. Why's it staying up there, Andy? There it goes. Okay. Didn't really release until about 10 o'clock my time, but when it did, it was a good mover. So 38.64 down to this first level here, right at 37. So just a good clean short move. Just had to sit a little bit of uncertainty for a little while, but never came close to the stop area. This one also presents a good opportunity for a second entry as we meander along these lows here. Get a little poke here below, then some more pokes, but eventually doesn't look like a whole lot of room there, but that's about 37 bucks right there. So between 37 to the low, had about another point of opportunity. Great place right in here to add a little bit to that trade. Real tight range, low risk for an add-on there. Now we can see here, Holly closed the trade pretty late, 238. Now she closed it after this bounce here, right? Now, when we look at the bounce area, could we have, foreseen where that bounce might be put in? You'd have to scroll back pretty far on the daily, all right? But if we just whip a weekly chart over here, we can see exactly where that thing put the bounce in, going all the way back to 2018 levels on the weekly. And boy, the AI sure loves TNDM back in 2018. Look at all those buy and sell signals. Pretty, it's kind of odd that it was in a drought during this period. All these trades back here, and now it's starting to come back to life again. So had to look back pretty far to see, what kind of instituted this little bounce here at the bottom, because it looks kind of random, especially on the daily, until you go way back on the weekly. But a good clean short trade on Tandem there, with a little bit of spread in between, just not a whole lot. Next, we'll take a look at the nerds. Not a huge winner, but a winner nonetheless. Holly cashing it out pretty early in the day, about 16 minutes after the trade was entered. You can see this little shaded part right here. Some reason she pulls the trigger on it and the profit save, locking in $12.85 on a 100 share lot. But if you held it to the close, made about 40 more bucks. Did have to sit a little bit of pain back below the entry level here before it finally catches on and hit some pretty good highs up there at 14. But Holly closing it out pretty much at the end. If we're looking at the moderate, or not closing it out, she closed it out back here. But if you held it all day, you made a whopping 58 bucks on 100 shares. Decent spread in between conservative and moderate there as well. Now, as far as the trade around goes, this Roku trade right here, very interesting. And let me just expand these out a little bit. Okay, what really catches my eye here about the Roku trade, it was a failed short trade, all right? Putting in the short sell right here at 45.72 for about 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, I think. Yeah, she was only in the trade for 10 minutes before she got stopped out right here. Just goes up here and kisses the stop area. But notice what's happening when Holly executes the short trade, gets stopped out. What are we doing right here? We're took a leg up, now we're taking a leg down, now we're taking that second leg up. So a lot of the times with the trade arounds, you look to go the same direction. But once you see a pattern like this on a failed short trade, whether it's from your buddy, from yourself, or the AI, you could probably take a risk on the upside as that opening range break is busted, because it's just right in your face right here, right? Failed short trade, a little consolidation. It's like a two-leg setup. We got the run up here, we got the first pullback, and now we've got the second run up right here. So from a contrarian standpoint, Roku sure would have been nice as a long from that opening range break there, from 46.77 up to 52-ish, right? And sometimes these things play out like this. But it was the AI that brought it to your attention on a failed short. You continue to watch it, saw that nice range break. Also too, Roku just finished up earnings, doing pretty good volume, 7.33 on the relative side, and was pretty stacked on the 5-minute volume for most of the day as well. So different little type of a trade around there. Instead of watching that stop area and re-entering the short here, could have played it to the inverse on a pretty tight opening range break for Roku with earnings behind. So that's about all the Holly highlights for today, Andy, unless there was another trade you wanted to
No, I think
go over here.
No, you covered it. That was a heck of a bounce by Roku, man.
It was.
Wow.
Other than that, not a bad exit on this PDCE short.
Right.
In the conservative mode here. Let's see here. Yeah, pretty good cover right there.
Yep. Not bad at all.
But that's about it on Holly's 6 entries today.
All right. Well, shoot it on over back to me, and we'll talk about we'll do some back testing.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So we were talking about shorting, having a backhand, being able to, when you can't go long, things aren't working to the long side, maybe try working some shorts. Now I'm going to be looking at some swing strategy here for the short side. It's one I started out one for the long side that used to back test very well. And so what I did is I basically kind of flipped this to the short side, and I wanted to take a look at the back test. So we're going to do that together, actually. So we're gonna back test this together, and what it's called is bounce below 50 SMA short. Now let's take a look at the configuration here. It's pretty straightforward. The alert is a new low, but let's take a look at the configuration, and look at the filters. All right, so what are these filters telling us? Well, first of all, this right here, this negative 0.01 in the max column for change from 50-day SMA, that means it has to be below its 50-day moving average. 50-day is a nice indicator to kind of tell you if a stock's in a bearish or bullish trend, at least over the last 2 or 3 months. So if it's below the 50-day moving average, more than likely it's in a bearish trend. All right, price just has to be $5 to $100. Position in previous days range. I tell you, I love these position and range filters, guys. They're very powerful. And if you're new to trade ideas, or you haven't checked these out, you can make some really incredible stuff by using these range filters that we have. The position and range is one of my favorite. So what this is saying right here is position in previous days range. I got a max of 2. Okay, so every range has a range of 0% being the low of that range and 100% being the high of that range. Okay, so we know if the max is 2, it's going to be really close to going through yesterday's low. Remember, this is an alert telling you that it's hitting a new low. So that's where I want to catch these, right when it's taking out the prior day's low after a bounce. Now, how do you know it's going to be a bounce? Well, if you look in here, position in 5-day range, the minimum is 50. Okay, so what that is saying is, let me just go ahead and click on the show me button so you'll know the stock is at least 50% above the low end of this range. So we know it's a weak stock, and now we also know that it's bounced over the last 5 days, because it has to be in the upper portion of its 5-day range. Let me get a drink of water real quick. See, guys, you can do things with trade ideas that you cannot do with all these other scans out there, and a lot of people don't realize that until you spend some time and you get in there and start playing around with some of these exotic filters that we have, and even the alerts. Nobody has the real-time alerts that we have, but you're not going to really know how to utilize it to the best of your advantage until you just spend some time with it and get in there and start playing with it on a weekend. But that's what it's looking for. Okay, now we know that, and the average daily volume just has to have to be above 300,000 shares a day, 3-month average, and don't want some real thin stuff coming through. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and back test this, okay, and then we're going to go in and optimize it. All right, so let's just go ahead and back test it. Open it wide up. Okay, the time, because we can back test by time as well, which is a very cool little feature. All right, this is going to be a 3-day hold, and it's going to be at the market open, a 3-day hold. All right, the risk management is a percentage, and it's using a 3% stop. Okay, so if this goes 3% against us, we're on the wrong side, and we get stopped out. All right, advanced, we're going to back test this the full 65 days. There's our summary, and let's go ahead and click simulate sell. You want to make sure you don't do the buy button, because we're shorting, and we'll see what this has to show us here. Okay, remember we haven't done any optimizing. Okay, so this is just the first back test. If you took every trade that came through. And come on now. What it's showing us is, okay, a profit factor from 1.22. That's very so-so. The total trades is 2,500. That tells me there's a lot of trades in there. That's going to give us room to carve a lot of the stuff out through optimization. 38% win rate. That's not anything to write home about for sure. Average winner is $1.62. Average loser is $1.82. That's good. Okay. Our average winner is 2 times greater than our average loser. That's what you want to see. Okay. So that is good. We just need to try to, get this win rate a little bit higher here. So let's go in and go ahead and optimize this. And the first thing I always do is I optimize based on time of day. Okay. And we'll put this on a 30-minute interval. All right, and look at this sweet spot right here, guys. This is what you want to see. You want to see an area, like this where you have a lot of green, okay? So you got red going that way, you got red going that way, but we got a nice little time frame here from 9:30 to 11:30, okay? That looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and go ahead and run it again based upon this time frame. Okay, let me go ahead and erase this. And we'll save this so we can compare. Let me find my little window, stick it over here. Okay, put it back on summary. And so now we're going to back test again. And this time we are going to put this at 9:30. That's where we want to start. And we're going to put this on 11:30. That's where we want to finish. So basically a 2-hour window is when we're going to be taking trades in this thing. By the way, the back test to me, I've done probably over 8,000 back tests in my life. Swing trading is a lot easier. Intraday stuff is very, very hard with all the algorithms and high frequency trading bots. All right, so there we go. We're going to hit sell, and we're going to test this time frame for 2 hours and see how well it does. Like I said, we'll compare it to this one over here. Okay, not bad. I can't make that small because it messes my area code. My equity curve. All right, so look what we've done. We've improved the profit factor to 1.56. Okay, we've increased our winning percentage to 47.7%. We jumped at almost 10 points on the winning percentage, and we cut the trades pretty much not close to in half. Average winner went down a little bit, so that's not great, but maybe we can improve. Still, the profit factor went up. Equity curve looks nice. Now we're going to go in and optimize based upon price. And let's put a $5 interval. And looks pretty good. A lot of green. Not much we can do here. We can probably tap this out though. We can shave off probably 30 trades by capping it at $85. So let's just go ahead and set strategy max to 85. It automatically does that for you. Okay, and then we're going to run it again and see how much we've improved. It's always good to do this. I like to do a new back test every time I change a filter. Okay, increased a little bit here to, let's see, 166. Okay, 48%. So we didn't shave that much off. That's why we did drop our average loser down about 10 cents, almost 8 cents. But it's getting a little bit better. Now this is where you kind of just start thinking about things. What would you like to see? Okay, because when it comes to optimizing based upon other filters, this is kind of where you got to get creative and kind of think about a chart pattern and where you would like a stock to be. For me, if I'm looking for weakness, I don't want that thing to be, in other words, we know it has to be in the upper half of its 5-day range. But what if this thing just had a really good bounce on some news or something, and it's in the upper portion of its 20-day, 10-day, 20-day range, and it's just really, really looking kind of strong? You know, maybe it's above its 10, maybe it's above its 20 period moving average. So what I want to do, just by thinking in my head, I'm thinking of a 20-day range, and I want to cap this thing out somewhere. In other words, I don't want it real high up to, you know, close to a 20-day high. So I'm going to go here into other filters, and I'm going to go look for position in 20-day range. And like I'm saying, this is just me kind of thinking in my head of where I would like to see a chart, a stock on a level on a chart. So position in 20-day range right there, percentage. And let's just go ahead and put, let's go ahead and just do 5. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. Look how you have all this green right here in the lower part of his 20-day range. That is just textbook. And now look at all these red ones, these ones that are up close to its, you know, closer to its 20-day high. In other words, they're in the upper portion of their, you know, 20-day range. So we're going after the weak stuff by doing this. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to cap that at right here at 40%. Set max at 40%. There we have it. Oh, I wish it wouldn't do that 30.9. I almost want to change that, but I'm just going to leave it like it is. All right, so I'm hoping this is going to be the only really filter that we changed as far as other filters go. Let's back test strategy again. Simulate sell. Oh, thank you, David. Bam, look at that, guys. Look how much we jumped just by using that one filter. Okay, position in 20-day range. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, guys. When you get to when you start playing around with these position and ranges, it's amazing how well you can improve a scan. And look at this right here. We took it from a profit factor of 1.66 all the way up to 2.85. Jumped our winning percentage to 57.4%. Look at our average loser now, jumped up to 144. Our average winner jumped up to 1.44. Our average loser is 69 cents. That is just textbook. Okay. Now this, like I said, this is now I have a bullish strategy like this that performed very much the same way when you're in a bull market. Okay. All you're doing is you're playing weakness. Okay. You're shorting weakness, but you're not just shorting stuff in the hole. You're letting it have a little bounce and then rolling back over, breaking the prior day's low. So that's how you do it. These are the best back tests. Okay. Because what you don't want to do is, after let's say you get some incredible results, but you look up here at the top and you've got 2 rows of filters in here. You've basically just curve fitted, but you basically just created those results. Okay, you took a bunch of anomalies that just happened to work out in your back test, and you're like, wow, man, look at this is great. But what you want to do is get something to work with just a minimum amount of filters. Those are the ones that are going to stand the test of time. Those are the ones that are going to be more successful. You're going to have less failed trades to come through. But that's a beautiful setup. And what I like about this is, you think about it, you're probably not going to get when markets are at lows after 3 or 4 day sell-offs, you're probably not going to get a lot of stuff to come through. But that's good, because you don't want to be chasing shorts. Okay, you want shorts to bounce up, come up to you, and then roll over and show some weakness. And we'll see if we can I can go and close these out, and let's see if we can find some examples of some trades in here. Let's take a look at yesterday. I bet there's some good ones yesterday. A lot of them yesterday. Now remember, we got to look at the times that started at 9:30 when these things started to come through. VIPs, that's a China stock. I'm actually long some China stocks right now, just because I'm seeing some relative strength. But there you go. See, now this one, look at this. This one came through at 586. Now today it's down to 524. And theoretically, what will happen is this will close out tomorrow at the open. So that's the kind of stuff you want to see. Weakness, nice bounce, and you did a bar reversal there. That's where you want to be shorting, not down here, chasing these breaks below lows. Those where you get the quick bounces. Let's see, that one was about right there, 27.77. Now let's see, so yeah, you're up over a buck in that one, and probably will stop out tomorrow. QFin was a beauty yesterday. It's kind of a cheap stock. Didn't move all that much. Oh, that's the one we already looked at. They'll keep coming through. That's just it. There you go. Look at that one yesterday. Broke. Once you got right at yesterday's low, you got signaled right there, and then had to sit through a little bit of a move, but that was Fed day. So, but anyway, there's some really good trades. I can just see the setups, everywhere. This was yesterday, beautiful one right there. But that had been
Yeah,
tough going
everybody's
into
going to have
Fed day.
that bump with the Fed. Yeah.
Yeah. Had you not had this Fed day, you wouldn't have had this stupid little move right there. But let's see if anything came through today. UNG. If you want to short the, I wouldn't touch that. Get too many overnight moves. This may be kind of tough because we had the big down move yesterday, but UNG, there was one that one. Now it came close yesterday, but that's a beautiful setup. That's what you want to do. Now it does have the 10 and the 20 below that, so you want to keep an eye out for that. But anyway, guys, I will share this one. Okay, this is put it on real time, and I will drop it into the. I'm gonna call this one, since I have that other one. I'm gonna call this optimized, so I will know when I go looking through there. All right, and I will share this with you guys, so you guys will have it and make it part of your arsenal. And I'll drop it into the chat. Uh-oh, collapsed on me. Okay, we're gonna call this, I'm just gonna put bounce short in there. All right, guys, there you go. So you have this code, you now have access to that, I don't know what I got going on here with my chat. Okay, there we go. All right, real quick, we got some time here. Okay, so what I did, what I've been doing lately as far as the long side goes, a lot of them, I caught two trades in here today, and they were both worked very well. Luckily, I got out of them on time. Nothing lasts very long in this market. But what I'm going to do, this right here, this race is above all major SMAs, okay? And I'll pull up the top list that I got this from. And basically, there's not much to this. It's just going to be stocks that are above all their key moving averages. Okay, so they're going to be above the 10. Let's just pull one up. ELF was a good one today. You're going to see all of these are going to be above their 10, 20, 50, and the 200-day moving average. And let's face it, guys, okay, in this kind of market, you got to be careful. I don't do too much bottom fishing. And if I do, it's usually on small size, and I'm looking for a kind of almost like a bottom fishing investment. But and I'll share some of those here in a minute with you that I'm in, and most of them are China. But anyway, so if you're going to be day trading, you're going to be scalping, or even if you're going to be swing trading, primarily you want to stick in this type of market. You want to stick with what's working, what's strong, what's above, and any stock above all of its moving averages are going to be strong. Look, you can go through all these stocks today, and you're going to see they're all strong above their moving average. Look at that RNR. Okay. So what I did is I created a race for me to follow in the morning, and I in most of my races I use change from open, But I wanted to use change from close in this one because I'm looking for swing trades, and I want to avoid the stocks that maybe had a big, kind of like Roku today, that had a big gap down, but it's from the open, it would be very strong. But if I'm swing trading that, it's still below all its moving averages. Probably something I don't want to jump into. Maybe for a day trade, that's fine. So these, it's going to be changed from the close. Okay. So I'm just going to do a real quick replay mode. Go into replay mode on this. We do have replay mode, guys. All you got to do is click this little bitty semicircle here with the arrow in it. Just basically means it's taking back and replaying it. Okay, and I'm gonna hit pause. I was gonna do this time. It's gonna probably start over again anyway. So this is pretty much how it opened, with these changed from the close. So these were stocks that were, gapping up big. But honestly, I'm not looking at these things very closely in the first, 15, 20 minutes. Okay, what I want to see is where they are after that 30 minutes. Okay, because if a stock is still strong after first 30 minutes, there's a good chance, it's going to continue to go. So let me run it back again. And you can see here, I'm on Central Time. So you can see down here at the bottom, it'll give you 5-minute increments of stocks that were performing well, in the first 30 minutes, and it goes 5 minutes at a time. And I'll stop it at 9 o'clock my time. So it'll be 30 minutes after the bell. All right. I'm going to put it on pause there. And what we're going to do is take a look at these trades. I mean, just take a look at these stocks, okay? And remember what kind of market we're in, okay? It's a bear market. Okay, let's face it, the market didn't do much today. It was pretty much sideways action with a little sell-off at the close. Ugly tape yesterday. We're looking for strength, whether we want to scalp, whether we want to swing trade, we want to find strength, okay? So just look at some of these, after the close. And this one pretty much didn't do anything. It's trading up after hours, but this thing 30 minutes after the close pretty much went sideways. It's probably actually down about 20 cents. That's fine. Obviously, all of them are not going to work. This one was a beauty. If you're watching this one, okay, and remember, it's tops on the list. It's showing strength. It's got nice relative volume. It had earnings. So much sweet about this trade right here, and I kicked myself for missing that one, but I did. I can't keep my eye on all of them. Very nice move. HCC, not a good move. I'm always skeptical of these first giant bars like this. Okay, I would rather see. Usually that's like a bull trap, sucker people in, breaking out of a range. I never chase giant bars like that. It moved almost $3. Nah, I'll pass. So be careful, in the first 15 minutes, confusing that with strength. What you want is strength after 30, 40 minutes and stuff like that. That's going to give you the hint. Health, a little bit different story. Look at this. It's kind of stuff I like. Okay, gap up, battled. Then you took out the 30-minute nut high there, but I don't need to see highs. If it takes out this bar right here, I'm all in. That's what I did today in Hood. But anyway, nice move there from 45, $3 move in that one. WSC, another one. Okay, even though this did have a decent bar there, okay, this is not something you would have to jump in. But if you watched it, this thing went sideways, and what happened? It hit that 10-period moving average and then moved. It moved higher at that. And if you looked right here, 44 was kind of a breakout on this thing. All-time highs. Okay, so if you're watching that level, this is one I would not chase that, high, but I would definitely have this on the radar as it traded sideways and moved higher. Another decent one right there. Pretty wicky in the morning, but finally had a decent move out of that. BTU is one of the ones that I traded today, and I bought it right up, took out this high, this 2-bar high right here. Thank God I got out of this thing. I got out of half at 27. I got out of another quarter up here, and then it just, my last quarter, it fell apart on me, but I got lucky and let it bounce and offered out at 27, 26.50, and it hit me. So got really lucky on that one. MCRB, another one that didn't get much out of that one though. That was much there. Hood was a good one this morning. If you watched it, it was trading up, and I think I actually bought this one at 12, but still got a little bit of that one, sold most of it, but it still got a little chunk. ADP. But I hope you're seeing the theme here, guys. Look at this one, boom, and then, sideways, took out that high, 256, ran about another almost 10 bucks on that one. So this is what you want to focus on, guys, in a nice little race right here with stocks that are strong. Okay, people have been buying these because they're above all their moving average. So you might want to keep this. I'll definitely share this with you, and I'll actually share them both. If you don't have this, I'll share my first. I'll share the top list. So if you want that, you can have that, and I'll put it back in the chat. Above all. And there you go. There's the code for that one. And then I'll share the race. Sometimes, guys, in a market like this, it's especially if you like playing the long side, you want to keep it simple. Okay, you want to play stocks that are strong, whether you're day trading or swing trading, whatever you're doing, stick with the strong ones. Okay, and this is the race. All right, guys, there you go. Oh, wait, I didn't do that. Hold on, I got to copy all. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Cancel. Let me do this. Share. I don't think I copied that. May have been the old one. Copy all. Try this again. Race. There you go. All right, for the closing minutes, I'll have you guys keep an eye on some things. I have a tendency to play some. I like to do some bottom fishing at times, and if I do, like I said, it's small size. What I'll do is I'll buy a little. It moves higher, I'll add a little more to it. But what I've been noticing lately is some of the China stocks, guys, that especially the China EVs, and they're by no means out of the water, but the last 2 days they have been some strong relative strength, really outperforming the market. The first one is probably the one I'm most excited about is this Li Auto. Okay. Now remember what 2 days we've had the last 2 days, but look at this one. Okay, it popped above on really big volume. It popped above its 10-period moving average. Did run into its 20-period moving average today and backed off. I think if it gets above this, it could have a nice little move to it, over the next several days. Now I do have a decent average, as you guys can see in here, because I started buying this thing I think back on this day. But Baidu is trying, not seeing much here. Very small size of Baidu. But Neo and XPEV could get a move, especially if Li goes. But I'm seeing a kind of a basing pattern as our markets, got clobbered, the last couple of days. So just kind of keep your eye on. I really shouldn't even be recommending this kind of stuff, but I like to keep people informed of kind of what I'm doing. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm playing small size. So I'm not, I'm definitely not going to get killed. Now I can always add more to it if it goes higher, but that's something I'm definitely keeping an eye on. Especially Li is probably the one I'm mostly excited about because it's definitely showing more strength. I do like that huge volume bar, so keep an eye above this one. If it does take out that 20-period moving average, you could have a little run to it. But yeah, I have been now China has been, they're off, back at 2009 lows. So this is not for the faint of heart, you know. And like I said, when I do this, I usually play small size, and I only add if it goes in my favor. So keep that in the back of your mind that I do have a decent positions in there with with that I bought earlier, but just keep that in the back of your mind. All right, guys. That's enough. Hope you guys. I don't have anything else, Jamie. How about you? Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just responding to Ken there.
Oh, what I can't say.
Well, he was asking
Oh.
about stocks that have run up 5 consecutive days, and they're still below their 50 period, and then they roll over. So depending on what time frame you want the rollover to occur, Ken, you could just look at our change family of filters and see which one would be applicable. Or once they run up 5 days and are still below the 50 period, you could just put them on a watch list and then watch them throughout the day to see if they're getting to the point where you want to put that short on.
Okay, David. So is that the race? Okay, I wasn't sure if I clicked on copy all. Okay, they are identical. That's what I meant. Okay, I wasn't sure that I hit copy all on that first one. So those are both the race. The top one you see in the chat window is the top list, and the other one's the other one's the race. All right. Ken, getting back to you. Let's see, was that the one who had the question? Yeah, be careful with consecutive days though, because a lot of times consecutive days like that, especially 5, there could be some underlying strength there. So you definitely want to see some sort of weakness before you go in and start shorting those. So, and like I showed you earlier, when I optimized based on position in 20-day range, the ones that were in the lower half of their 20-day range, those are the ones that were paying me and getting hit more. So. So keep that in the back of your mind. All right, guys. Well, I don't have anything else. I'll bring in Scott, and you're welcome, Ken. I'll bring in Scott. He'll walk us out. You guys hang on. He'll have a discount code for you.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Thank you, Jamie. A couple items on the way out. Do make sure to visit our interactive brokerage information page, tradeIdeas.com/IBKR, if you're an interactive brokerage user or think about becoming one. We can trade directly through Brokerage Plus with Interactive Brokerage by connecting your accounts. And similarly, we also have a relationship with E-Trade and connect our E-Trade and connect your E-Trade account directly with our Brokerage Plus platform. You just go ahead and set that up, and you can manage your trades, do one-click trading, commission-free. Go to trade-ideas.com/eTrade and learn some more about how to set that up. Grab the Favorite Strategy Indicators ebook written by our Director of Software Development, Dave Mabe. Go to trade-ideas.com/strategy. It's got some really helpful information and some cloud links that you can use to import those strategies directly into your Trade Ideas layout. We have strength alerts if you're not quite ready to become a full Trade Ideas subscriber, but would like to get some additional trading ideas that are in addition to the trade of the week that we send out every Monday morning. We send out 5 new trade ideas every Sunday night for $17 a month. Go to trade-ideas.com/strength to learn more about how those are generated and delivered. And we have a code, Fast Data, will save you 15% off your first month or year of any Trade Ideas subscription or upgrade from standard to premium. Just go to trade-ideas.com/price to apply that code. And go ahead and email us at info@trade-ideas.com with any questions. That's the best way to send in your questions. It goes to our help desk software so it doesn't get lost. You can also find Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot, or Steve Gomez is TISteveG. We also, of course, have at Trade Ideas. Facebook.com/TradeIdeasPro is the Facebook handle. So thank you all. We'll have the recording of this session up later on tonight or tomorrow. You get an email reminder tomorrow with a link to the playlist on our YouTube channel where you can find it. So thanks, Andy. Thanks, Jamie. Have a great rest of your afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Thanks, everybody. I'll see some of you tomorrow.
See you next time. Bye-bye.